Like and subscribe, and you'll have amazing luck for the rest of the week.
10 bizarre things people found in their pool. It's a beautiful thing to own a pool, or at least we think so, especially during those hot summer days when the weather's intolerable. But owning a pool comes with many responsibilities like sifting out insects, leaves, and in extreme cases, protecting it from wild animals and all shades of intruders. Without further ado, let's look at some bizarre things that people found in their pool. I've noticed that most of you watching this aren't subscribed yet, so if you do like the video, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's absolutely free, and you can always change your mind later. And with that said, enjoy the video. Number 10. A cow. Footage released in 2014 showed a cow making its way into a swimming pool filled with kids. Well, it's not the first time animals like this got stuck in a pool. Maria Bella, an aquatic facility operator, said that water is as attractive to children as it is to these animals. The problem with having them is they can't find their way out of the pool since the pools don't have sloping entries. Since cows and other farm animals aren't trained to walk up steps, they remain stuck until help comes their way. The cow was eventually captured, but had there been a fence, this would have all been prevented. And sadly for the kids, the fun time's over as the water's contaminated with whatever the cow brought in. The safest idea for any pool is to have a screen or wall at least 4 feet high around the edges of the pool. Recently, there was a cow moved out of a pool in Oklahoma City in January 2017. The owner heard weird snorting in their back garden, only to find a cow had tore a hole in the pool cover and was trapped inside. They were eventually rescued by fire crews, but probably a traumatic experience for the cow. It isn't just America either. Similar stories have emerged of cows infiltrating backyards somehow and getting into pools. And of course, they don't really have steps, so it's hard for them to get out. Number 9. Car. Well, this car was not looking for a place to park. And neither did it consider the pool as a parking spot. It was definitely an accident, but thankfully, no life was lost. At 4 a.m., a teenage boy and his friend lost control of their car and smashed through a wooden fence, which led to the car diving into Lena Bradley's pool. She woke up abruptly after she felt a hit at the back of her house. She found that her pool was contaminated with oil and a car stuck inside it. The teenager apologized profusely, but the woman didn't care about her pool, more so caring about the kids' safety. Surprisingly, this actually happens kind of often. Just this last summer, a woman drove into a pool in Colorado Springs. I don't really know how this happens, but people just keep driving into pools. Number 8. Bear. A while ago, footage of a bear taking a dip in a family swimming pool in North Vancouver emerged. The bear at first seems to take a casual dip in the main pool, then move on over to the hot tub area to spread out and relax. And honestly, I can't blame him. Sounds like a lovely afternoon at the spa for Mr. Bear. You don't get that kind of treatment normally out in the cold Canadian woods. The pool owners, Mr. and Mrs. Deering, said that they were actually very afraid, as the neighborhood has a lot of small kids running around, and they didn't want this bear getting used to the area. Number 7. Bullets. The last thing you want to worry about when you're taking a dip in the pool with near nothing on is getting hit by a stray bullet. Though to be fair, you probably don't want that to happen regardless of where you are. But if you're a family like this that lives 1,400 feet away from a game area shooting range, you might just have to think differently. The field has tried to control this from happening, redirecting its target area to the east. Nonetheless, some of these flying projectiles still make their way to the south, where most of these residents live. One day, a family found a bullet in their pool. Without hesitation, they knew where it came from. It was actually the 3rd time that had happened in 3 years. Number 6. Snakes. You may have heard of Snakes on a Plane, the 2006 action and horror film that fascinated many, starring the amazing Samuel L. Jackson. But have you ever seen a snake in a pool? If so, then you may be familiar with the feeling of utter fear But if not, then by watching this recording posted on the Snake Catchers Adelaide Facebook page, get ready to experience the emotion right now. In hot areas filled with lots of wildlife, it's very common for snakes to slither into pools. So common, in fact, that there's tons of internet tutorials on how to remove snakes from pools. There's a video on YouTube with 7 million views that shows 3 kids in a pool in Australia having a swell time, when suddenly a snake emerges from nowhere. Initially, the kids thought it was harmless, but afterwards, they realized it was actually a deadly snake. After several attempts of luring and hiding, they used a frog to get it to play. Number 5. Dead people. This sad video chronicles the story of an 8-year-old girl, her mom, and her grandfather, who tragically died from an accidental drowning in New Jersey. The East Brunswick Police Department confirmed the event as an accidental drowning, thereby ruling out homicide. Unfortunately, the family only moved in 20 days before the incident. A neighbor heard the occupants of the house screaming and alerted the police. Although the police confirmed another family member lived with them, they didn't say the role he played in the incident. It's simply just another tragedy in swimming. Not only is finding a dead person in your pool disturbing, but it can also land you in trouble, especially if there's no CCTV evidence to absolve you of the incident. You might have some explaining to do to the cops. Tons of people have been found face down in pools, though most of these occurrences were probably due to substances. People who were so out of it that they thought the pool was their bed. When they dive in, it was game over for them. Recently, a 4-year-old made the news after they called 911 when they found their babysitter face down in a pool. Children especially should be supervised when they're around water. Similar events can happen if you don't. It goes to show that large bodies of water are very serious matters, and when playing around them, there should always be safety and supervision. Number 4. Ghosts. Think about all the places ghosts are likely to appear, and check if you have a swimming pool on that list. Let's see... Nope. You probably think your pool is a haven, but maybe not, because there are a ton of reports of ghostly appearances in swimming pools. The question is your swimming pool haunted? There was an old pool in an abandoned fitness club. Legend has it that a swimmer drowned, but the spirit remained. Someone made a video of the place, and trust me, it's one of the spookiest events ever. Number 3. Disease. Catching the flu after swimming in a public pool is the least of the problems you can encounter. Pools are supposed to be cleaned and purified regularly, because a dirty one can breed several worms and parasites, which can be very detrimental to your health. What if I told you that even clean ponds are not germ-free though? Before you dive into a pool, you'd want to take a shower. But a recent study showed that about 48% of Americans don't shower before swimming, taking whatever they have on them into the pool with them. And no, don't be a part of that 48% because it's darn gross. If you have any kind of cut or wound and go swimming in a dirty pool, you can get an infection just from swimming around. A man who had gotten a fresh tattoo died shortly after swimming because he came into contact with a bacterium that drove him into septic shock. And with that, it's now time for today's best pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber, so if you come across a photo online and you want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it in our future video. Number 2. Crocodile. Measuring up to a possible 23 feet in length, the saltwater crocodile is one of the most dangerous creatures on this planet. Did one of these find its way into a private pool? Yes and no. 4 days after purchasing a home in Florida, a Pennsylvania couple discovered an unexpected visitor and an 8-foot-long alligator that occasionally found its way to their swimming pool. They found it just relaxing in the water and immediately contacted the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. To prevent occasions like this, invest in a pool cover to avoid wild animals' future visits. For people that live in the Sunshine State of Florida, you'll be all too aware of this one. Because there's a lot of alligators in Florida, it's pretty common that they sneak into a cool body of water to chill out. Honestly, there's countless tales of alligators in pools that it's hard to pick just one. And it's not just Florida, it's everywhere. Number 1. Boats. In Chile, a company owned by renowned businessmen decided to build a pool larger than most regular ones. They constructed a pool measuring over 20 acres in size and several miles long. If you're wondering what's the big deal here, understand that it's 6,000 times larger than a regular public pool. Now that is a lot of swimming space, so no wonder it was named the largest swimming pool in 2008. And this pool wasn't created for people alone, but for ships, jet skis, and boats alike. The construction of this place changed people's mindsets of what a pool should be. Unfortunately though, there are no lifeguards here, so your life's in your hands if you chose to go on a boat cruise. That's all we had for you. Which one shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments and subscribe to never miss a future video.